Forget everything you were told about getting ahead. The old rules are obsolete. The forces that seem to threaten the status quo, automation, AI, tectonic economic shifts, are not threats. They are the single greatest opportunity for a power transfer we have seen in a generation. The coming years will trigger a massive wealth and power shift in the global workplace, creating an unprecedented opening for women who are architecting their future. While most will worry about being left behind, an elite few are preparing to lead. Research from institutions like the World Economic Forum and the UN indicates that many roles traditionally held by women are vulnerable to AI disruption. But this is not a story of victimhood. This is your signal to act. Chaos is the raw material of opportunity. The future isn't about playing by the old rules. It's about mastering a new game. In this video, we're deconstructing the 15 skills that will define the new elite. These are the skills that turn market threats into personal triumphs, allowing you to stop competing and start commanding. Let's engineer your advantage for 2030. Let's begin. These first 3 skills are your non-negotiable foundation. Consider them the new language of value creation. Skill 1. Digital fluency. This is a universe beyond proficiency in Microsoft Office. Digital fluency is the effortless command of the tools, platforms, and technologies that now form the central nervous system of work. We're talking about project management architecture like Asana or Trello, and collaborative ecosystems like Google Workspace or Microsoft Teams. Why is this a non-negotiable? Because efficiency is a form of power. When you can streamline workflows and automate low-value tasks, you reclaim your most valuable asset, time. That is time you can reinvest in strategic, high-impact work, the work that builds visibility and influence. With projections showing that up to 70% of all jobs will demand advanced digital skills by 2030, a lack of fluency isn't a weakness, it's a fatal flaw. Skill 2. AI and big data literacy. AI is no longer on the horizon, it is the new terrain. It's not a force to be feared, it's a tool to be wielded. While AI will render certain roles obsolete, it creates extraordinary leverage for those who understand its mechanics. AI and big data literacy means you have a functional, strategic grasp of what they are. You can interrogate data, ask intelligent questions, and use AI-powered instruments to drive superior decisions. For every woman whose insight was dismissed in a meeting, data is your ultimate leverage. It's difficult to argue with empirical evidence. When you back your strategy with data, you are no longer presenting an opinion, you are presenting a case for reality. As enterprises rebuild their entire models around AI, this is no longer a specialist skill. It is a core competency for anyone who wants to be relevant. Skill 3. Data literacy. This is intrinsically linked to AI, but it demands its own focus. If AI literacy is understanding the engine, data literacy is mastering the fuel. It's the ability to read, analyze, and, most critically, architect a narrative with data. It means you can look at a complex report and distill the single insight that changes the game. This is a superpower because it manufactures authority. It transitions you from an executor of tasks to a driver of strategy. When you can enter a room, glance at a dashboard, and articulate what the numbers mean for the bottom line, you become the center of gravity. In a world drowning in information, the individual who can convert data into a decisive call to action is the one who leads. Technology is a powerful amplifier, but it's only half the equation. As automation absorbs routine processes, our uniquely human abilities become the most valuable assets in the market. These are the skills AI cannot replicate. Skill 4. Critical thinking. In a world saturated with AI-generated content and infinite information, critical thinking is your cognitive filter. It's the ability to analyze information with a clinical eye, deconstruct assumptions, and execute sound judgment. This isn't about finding flaws, it's about seeing the entire chessboard, connecting disparate ideas, and accurately calculating risk and reward. This skill is your primary defense against flawed strategies and your access key to genuine innovation. For women who have had to justify their presence in the room, a rigorously logical argument is the ultimate instrument of influence. It allows you to challenge the status quo, not with emotion, but with undeniable reason. As we rely on AI for answers, we need the human wisdom to know when to trust it, when to challenge it, and when to forge a completely new path. Skill 5. Emotional intelligence. There's a reason. Emotional intelligence is consistently ranked as a top-tier leadership requirement. It is the ability to understand and regulate your own emotional state while accurately reading and influencing the emotions of others. It combines self-awareness, empathy, and social dynamics into one powerful competency. It is the adhesive that binds high-performing teams. For women, EQ can be an intrinsic strength that was once incorrectly labeled a soft skill. That era is over. Leadership is migrating from a top-down, command and control model to one of collaboration and influence, and EQ is the operating system for this new model. It allows you to navigate complex political landscapes, build strategic alliances, and lead with a resonant authority. This is not a soft skill. It is a power skill that drives hard business results. Skill 6. Leadership and social influence. Let's be clear. Leadership is not a title you are given. It is a space you command. It's the ability to galvanize and mobilize people around a vision, regardless of your position on the organizational chart. It's about empowering your team, making high-stakes decisions, and identifying latent potential in others. For too long, women have waited for permission to lead. The future belongs to those who lead from wherever they stand. Social influence means your ideas have weight, and your voice commands attention because you consistently generate value. We know that companies with gender-diverse leadership are statistically more likely to dominate their markets. By cultivating this skill, you aren't just accelerating your career, you are increasing your company's profitability and creating pathways for others. Skill 7. Communication skills. Precise communication is the bedrock of all professional power. This isn't about sounding intelligent. It's about persuasive writing, active listening, and presenting ideas with clarity and conviction. It is the art of calibrating your message to your audience for maximum impact. For women, mastering communication means owning your authority. It's about surgically removing the apologetic language, the justs, and "I think maybes" that unconsciously leaks power. It is about learning to negotiate for the compensation you have earned and the resources you require. When you can articulate your vision with precision and connect with people on a human level, you become impossible to ignore. The landscape of 2030 will not be static. Your ability to adapt, create, and evolve will be the primary determinant between those who thrive and those who merely survive. Skill 8. Problem solving and creativity. As AI handles linear, predictable problems, the world will pay a premium for humans who can solve the complex, abstract ones. This skill is about looking at a broken system and seeing an opportunity to engineer a new one. It's the intersection of critical thinking and imagination, where you generate solutions that don't exist in any playbook. This represents a massive opportunity for women, who are often skilled consensus builders, capable of synthesizing multiple perspectives. That is a creative superpower. Creativity is not reserved for artists. It is for the manager who re-architects a workflow, or the leader who builds a culture where innovation is inevitable. Companies are desperate for people who don't just identify problems, but invent solutions. Skill 9. Resilience, flexibility, and agility. The career ladder is a relic. You are now navigating a career jungle gym. Resilience, flexibility, and agility are the metrics of your mobility. Resilience is your capacity to absorb setbacks and bounce back stronger. Flexibility is your ability to pivot without losing momentum. And agility is the speed at which you can learn and deploy a new skill. Let's be direct. Women in the workplace often face unique biases and obstacles that demand a higher quotient of resilience. This skill is about converting that pressure into power. It's about viewing challenges not as roadblocks, but as data points that make you more robust. In a world of constant flux, your stability doesn't come from your job. It comes from your demonstrated ability to adapt to anything. Skill 10. Networking and relationship building. Your network is not just a safety net, it's your asset portfolio. This isn't about low-value transactionalism or collecting contacts. It's about architecting a genuine, diverse web of strategic alliances built on mutual value. It's about cultivating mentors who provide guidance, sponsors who advocate for you, and peers who both support and challenge you to elevate your game. For women, a powerful network is crucial for bypassing systemic barriers. It provides access to opportunities and intelligence that are not distributed through formal channels. It creates visibility. When it's time to fill a senior role, decision makers turn to people they know and trust. By building these relationships, you ensure your name is on that list. It's not just who you know, it's who knows you and the value you represent. Skill 11, personal branding. Whether you manage it or not, you have a personal brand. This skill is about taking deliberate control of that narrative. It's about being intentional about the value you deliver, the principles you represent, and the unique space you occupy. Then, it is about ensuring that brand is consistently reflected in your work, your digital footprint, and your daily interactions. If you find self-promotion distasteful, reframe it. A strong personal brand is about strategic positioning. It allows your reputation to do the heavy lifting for you. It establishes your credibility far beyond your job title. When your brand is clear and powerful, opportunities begin to find you. Recruiters call, invitations materialize, and promotions are offered because your reputation arrived first. Skill 12. Continuous learning and upskilling. If one skill governs all others, it is the commitment to perpetually acquire new ones. The concept of a finite education is dead. Lifelong learning is the new price of admission. It means you are constantly scanning the horizon, proactively acquiring the competencies required for your next role, not just your current one. Employers recognize that the skills gap is one of their most significant threats. When you position yourself as a lifelong learner, you signal that you are adaptable, driven, and a high-return long-term asset. While others worry about their skills becoming obsolete, you are busy building the skill set of tomorrow, making yourself indispensable. Finally, let's examine the skills that define a new class of leader, one who looks beyond short-term profits and toward legacy-defining impact. Skill 13, ethical decision-making. As we deploy powerful new tools like AI, the ethical architecture of our work becomes paramount. This skill is about navigating complex gray areas with integrity. It's about demanding fairness, transparency, and accountability. It's about understanding the implications of data privacy and actively working to build systems free from the historical biases that have disadvantaged women and minorities. This is an opportunity for women to lead with principle. By championing ethical frameworks, you build the single most valuable currency in the new economy: trust. In the long run, the leaders who can guide their organizations through the ethical minefields of technology will be the ones who build sustainable, respected, and dominant companies. Skill 14, environmental stewardship. Sustainability is no longer a peripheral concern. It is a central pillar of the global economy. Environmental stewardship means understanding your industry's planetary impact and actively seeking to build more sustainable, circular models. It can mean advocating for green technology, designing circular supply chains, or finding ways to align corporate profit with planetary health. Why is this a career skill? Because the green transition is projected to be one of the greatest drivers of job creation in history. Companies in every sector are hunting for leaders who can help them navigate this economic pivot. By developing expertise in this domain, you are positioning yourself at the forefront of a massive wealth transfer and demonstrating you are a leader who thinks in terms of long-term value. Skill 15. Entrepreneurial skills. This final skill is not exclusive to founders. An entrepreneurial mindset is an invaluable asset in any role. It is the ability to think like an owner, to identify opportunity, take calculated risks, manage resources with discipline, and drive an initiative from idea to execution. It's about taking radical ownership and creating value from your position. For women, developing these skills is the ultimate expression of career sovereignty. It liberates you from dependence on a single employer or a linear career path. Whether you use these skills to launch a company, lead a new division within an enterprise, or simply inject an innovative high-ownership approach into your team, this mindset transforms you into a creator of opportunities, not a seeker of them. It is the final component that makes you truly unstoppable. The world of 2030 may be unrecognizable, but it is not something to be feared. It is something to be built. These 15 skills, from the tech architecture of AI and data, to the irreplaceable human instincts of creativity and emotional intelligence, to the adaptive mindset of a future-ready leader, are your blueprint for building that future. The next decade will be defined by disruption. But for the women who prepare, for those who commit to mastering this new playbook, It will be defined by assent. It is time to evolve from a participant in the workplace to a driver of its future, an innovator, and a leader. A new power structure is forming. The only remaining question is, are you ready to claim your position within it?